my New England crew over at table 12. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final general session of Cruise 360 2019. I hope you've enjoyed your time at Cruise 360 all week as much as I have. Have you? Have you enjoyed it? Suffice it to say that I slept very well last night. Wasn't that incredible with Ryan Serhant? What did you think of Ryan? I've been texting with him ever since he left, and he's like, am I going to be invited back? Am I going to be invited back? And the hot seat, we love the sales and marketing panel, the hot seat, huh? And then I don't know who among us has attended the Hall of Fame last night, but what did you think of the entertainment provided by our CLIA cruise lines? Wasn't that incredible? Celebrity Cruises, Royal Caribbean International, and Norwegian Cruise Line. They really knocked it out of the park for us, and we're so grateful to them. And of course, the Hall of Fame award recipients. I congratulate them again, Lucinda Belden, Avoya Travel, and of course, Lisa Lutoff-Perlow. It was such an honor to be able to bestow the conveyance of the Hall of Fame awards to them. And then, of course, I do want to call out the individual acts, the American Ballet Theater. What did you think of that? And of course, We Will Rock You. That was pretty incredible. And I love Choir of Men. What did you think of that? Wasn't that amazing? And we still have so much in store for you this weekend with our Greater Fort Lauderdale Port Everglades reception tonight. We have spotlight sessions tomorrow and tomorrow morning, and ship inspections. We're all waiting for our ships to come in, aren't we? Those fabulous fam trips throughout our host city. So the week is far yet from over. Coming up in this session, we'll have an exciting new approach, and this is going to be fantastic. You, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you you're going to love our dynamic new approach to the small ship cruising panel, I know you'll enjoy it. And then I'm looking forward very much to hearing from our keynote speaker, the Chief Executive Officer of MSC Cruises, Gianni Onorato. But first, I'd like to introduce to you one of our important sponsor partners. From the Pacific Rim Cruise Association, please welcome from Destination, British Columbia, Stephanie Fielden. This is good. Music's good, isn't it? Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. My name is Stephanie Fielden with Destination, British Columbia. I am very pleased to be here. Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here on behalf of Tourism Vancouver, the Port of Vancouver, and Vancouver International Airport to welcome back Cruise 360 to Vancouver in 2020. 2020 will mark the 4th time Cruise 360 will be in Vancouver. So why is Vancouver an attractive home port? Vancouver is known as a city of nature, surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, lush rainforest, and the coast mountains. Vancouver offers year-round experiences to visitors of all ages and demographics, including distinct arts and culture, signature attractions, international cuisine, unparalleled outdoor adventure, urban beaches, and some great nightlife. The city is safe and green and walkable, and you can cross the entire downtown core in 30 minutes. The Port of Vancouver, for more than 30 years, has been a leading home port for Alaskan cruises, and is the only home port to offer both one-way and round-trip itineraries through Canada's spectacular Inside Passage to Alaska. This year, 41 different vessels from 24 cruise lines will be visiting Canada Place cruise ship terminal at the Port of Vancouver. And Vancouver International Airport was voted best airport in North America for an unprecedented 10 years in a row at the Skytrax World Airport Awards, recognized as the global benchmark of airport excellence. The awards were voted by over 14 million passengers worldwide. We are excited to share our destination with you all once again, and so you can experience and gain better understanding of Vancouver. During the conference, we will offer agents a series of sightseeing tours to our top attractions, as well as culinary and outdoor adventure tours. I encourage all attendees to take advantage of these opportunities in order to learn about our city and what it has to offer. You will see firsthand the value of having your clients sail from Vancouver to Alaska, and after spending time in the city, we'll most certainly recommend your clients spend extra days in Vancouver pre- and post-cruise. Hosting Cruise360 demonstrates our commitment to increasing demand for Vancouver-based Alaskan cruises, and we welcome you back with open arms. I am pleased to introduce you to Vancouver through a video and give you a taste of what to expect. Thank you.
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away, it's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's a beautiful day.
Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you, Pacific Rim Cruise Association. We look forward to seeing all of you in Vancouver next year for Cruise360 2020. Before I introduce today's keynote presenter, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on another one of our important partners here at CLIA. As many of you know, we are concerned about all aspects of the cruise industry, from the environment to sustainability to giving back. We believe it is our responsibility to be stewards and to give back whenever and wherever we can. The charity that we have chosen to focus on is Mercy Ships. By now, I hope all of you are aware of this outstanding nonprofit organization that performs life-changing medical services around the world to people and nations in need. It serves the world's forgotten poor and brings hope and healing to those who need it most. Please join me in supporting this organization with your donations, no matter how big or small. There are several ways you can participate. For example, you can donate by texting SHIPS to 50155. The CLIA team thanks you in advance for your generosity and for helping us to champion this incredible cause. To tell you a little bit more, we have a brief video.
Enangue a commencé le trouble des yeux, ça fait 3 ans. Elle partait à l'école, elle ne faisait rien. Et elle apportait chaque fois les cahiers, elle n'écrivait absolument rien. Un jour, donc, j'ai pris les yeux de Nangue, j'ai vu les blancs dedans, j'ai dit, mais... Donc, là où j'ai été très curieuse, de poser la question à son docteur traitant que je cherchais à l'opérer.
it's amazing when they first open their eyes and you see them blink a little bit, and many times you can almost see the life coming back into them. Can't beat that.
Tout ce que Enangue fait maintenant, c'est des miracles de Dieu. Parce que tout ce qu'elle faisait, elle était même des fois frustrée quand les autres jouent. Elle est égayée, elle est ici. C'est elle-même qui me disait que maman, après ça, oui, tu vas aller à l'école.
Imagine yourself turning the pages of your very own fairy tale as you glide past the fabled landscapes along Europe's Rhine and Moselle rivers. With AMA waterways, hike storied hills to romantic castles and charming villages. Pedal through the historic vineyards of the Moselle River Valley. Be inspired by stunning castles clinging to the edges of riverbanks as you cruise through the breathtaking Rhine Gorge. It's all waiting for you on an unforgettable Rhine and Moselle river cruise with AMA Waterways.
Folks, it's now my distinct pleasure to welcome today's keynote speaker. As CEO, Gianni Onorato oversees MSC Cruises' business from its Geneva-based headquarters. With over 30 years' experience in the cruise industry, Mr. Onorato has a finely developed understanding of the cruise business and extensive experience in senior executive leadership, having served as president of Costa Cruises from 2004 to 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Chief Executive Officer of MSC Cruises, Mr. Gianni Onorato. Welcome, sir.
Hi, Charlie. Charlie, why did you say that I've been for 30 years in the cruise industry? Now they can guess my age. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Buon pomeriggio. My name is Gianni Onorato, and I have the pleasure of serving as Chief Executive Officer since 2013 MSC Cruises. Which is the only private family company in the cruise industry. And today I want to dedicate my 20 minutes to share with you some information and some on the general trends which are contributing to this wonderful industry to grow and develop, and also in a way also to present to you what we think we will see the future of this cruise industry. First of all, this is a very, very strong growing industry. As you will see here, we will be reaching this year 30 million guests, and which is nearly the double than in 2009. But our industry is still a niche if we consider the overall tourism industry. There are 1.3 billion people taking a holiday every year. And you know, to think about 28 million or 30 million, which is the projections for 2019, is really, really a small number. It's just approximately 2% of the people taking a holiday. So the opportunity for our industry to grow is huge. But we can only grow so much also because there is one main reason. Okay, this is a very healthy growth we are assisting in the cruise industry, because there are only 3 shipyards in the world able to build ships like the ones that we have the opportunities to admire today. And so the industry can only grow 6 or 7% every year. So let's say that this is not only a sustainable, but also a very healthy growth. But we needed to find a new guest to fill up our ships. And you know, specifically I may refer to MSC, because MSC has a very important new building plan. And actually 25% of all the new builds coming out in the next years are from MSC. So we are a very strong growing company. Today, we represent almost 10% of the total, with almost 3 million guests that we're going to have in 2019. So, but let's take a look at the Caribbean, so which is very an area closer to us. Caribbean is the #1 destination in the world, and a good portion of the industry growth will be deployed here. With more regions understanding the benefits of the cruise tourism, the economical benefits most of all, the Caribbean leadership, though, is increasingly contested. We see a need to upgrade and expand the port infrastructure, for example, as bigger ships enter into the market. There are also ships always more environmentally friendly, for example, fueled with liquid natural gas. And we need to have the ports able to accommodate this new way of fueling ships. And this is very important because this is the only way to keep up with competition of other regions in the world. There are also new brands around the world, bringing an even bigger choice to all the consumers. And MSC is one of them. The competition is increasing, leading to a need to differentiate the products. And cruise lines are investing a lot in the development of custom-made destinations. Also, the tastes of cruise guests are evolving. Many people now, they don't look only for beaches experience, but also they are trying to fulfill more their experience when they travel, when they go on holiday. And holiday is a very important part of our life. Most of the people, they have only one holiday per year. And so they cannot miss it. So they need really, holiday really represents a very important moment for each one of us. And Caribbean is not only a destination only for North Americans, but there is an increasing number of Europeans and Asians coming from all over the world coming to the Caribbean. And so there is also a need for a multilingual service on board our ships. But this gives also an opportunity for the same North Americans to enrich their experience, being in contact and in touch with a multicultural experience. And my company is a good example for that. We started our business in Europe, and we became leader in Europe, and now we're looking more and more to develop in the Caribbean and North America. There are also new segments coming up, especially the luxury and the expedition. By the way, we just announced the construction of 4 luxury ships that we will be operating under a new brand, but within the MSC area. So there will be a different clientele, different needs, and each one of us will have more and more the right ship for the right people. So cruise lines need long-term partnerships in order to develop, in order to keep up with the increasing different and varied demand from our guests. MSC, as I was saying, is not yet a major player in the region. We are actually quite a new entrant in this market. When other companies were expanding here, we were growing in Europe. But for example, our holding company, MSC Shipping, in cargo, is the leading company in US. Most of the things that you see coming from Europe and Asia to US, or most of the export from US to Europe, usually are transported by an MSC cargo vessel. So our tradition and our presence here in the United States is long-standing since many years. As I was saying, we are in the second phase of our expansion. We are going practically to reach 5.5 million guests per year in 2027, and most of our new development will be focused not only in growing in Europe, in South America, where we are the leading cruise lines, but also what will be specifically in North America and in the Caribbean. So we are also investing in the region, for example, with the Ocean Key, our exclusive private island, which is just 60 miles off Miami, which also will allow to have always Ocean Key in one of our itineraries out of Miami. And Ocean Key will be inaugurated early November this year. So we are having ships here around based in Miami, and actually we are going to celebrate next season 4 ships out of Miami during the winter season. To different destinations like Cuba or the West Caribbean and the East Caribbean. And to support all this growth, we are also investing in having the opportunity of ensuring a strong presence here. We are investing also in the organization with our office in Fort Lauderdale here. And we also just recently announced the opening of an MSC Cruises office in Canada. But that's not all. We just, last January, we signed also an agreement with Miami-Dade County. And this duty, we will be making a big announcement with the Port of Miami. So stay tuned that it will be really a huge announcement. So this is what, for example, Ocean Cay will look like when it will open its doors in this coming November. It's something really different. It's not a theme park. It's an incredible natural experience that will allow all our ships to call and overnight in Ocean Cay before arriving to Miami. So it will be a full experience with nature, a full experience also having not only a beach experience, but also, for example, experience with an edutainment program which will be geared, for example, to better understand the coral life, how to preserve the nature. This was an industrial site before we totally reversed it to a natural paradise. And we are very proud of this. So, few of us will have the chance to visit it soon in November, but then we have all the MSC ships calling Ocean Cay, so you can have many of your guests and yourself visiting it here from November on. So we really cannot wait. It's really a big move ahead for MSC here. But let's go back to you, the travel advisors. They're simply a critical part of the cruise industry. They remain the largest source of bookings for cruise lines. New brands depend on travel advisors more than the incumbent ones. You play the role of coupling the right guest to the right brands. And we are working with our travel advisor partners to understand the right customer for MSC Cruises. As newcomers, we heavily rely on your business here in North America, and we are working very hard to establish a strong relationship and a long-term relationship with you. Through the use of technology, which is specifically geared for you with our MSC book, but also in order to have a proper alignment with the expectation of reward that you have. So let's say that the new brand not only are offering the opportunity for new choices, but also the opportunity for you to propose different products. We are proud supporters of CLIA and its activities for the travel advisors, and we are very glad to have this opportunity, and for me personally, to have this opportunity to speak to you today. So innovation is the key for an industry which is growing, and innovation is done through new ship classes. With the new generation of ships, will have not only new innovative design, but also will contain innovations to enhance the cruise experience. And the use of new technologies are twofold. One is to always more and more will have the objective to minimize our footprint on the environment. And the second one is the deployment of technology in order to use the technology for our guests. before and during the cruise. We have many examples from all the cruise line. I can mention the Ocean Medallion, I can mention Excalibur, and I need to mention MSC4Me, which is our innovative digital platform that helps the guest to improve their experience. But we also need to innovate the relationship that we have with you using technologies, and that's why the digital relationship more and more will be the key for our relationship in order to communicate in an efficient and fast ways. So since I know only MSC4Me, I don't know about the other digital platform in details, let me just tell you that what MSC4Me is at a glance. It's designed, as I was saying, to meet the guest needs before the cruise and during the cruise. So as soon as they have they completed their bookings, they have the opportunity to access the platform, and they can do a number of things. They can buy cruise packages before sailing. They can book shore excursions. They can book a table at a specialty restaurant. They can locate the kids and family members anytime. They can chat with their friends and relatives while on board. So it's really technology at the service of the guests, at the service of hospitality. So and this is something that will really change the way that we dialogue with our customers, because the customers will arrive on board and they already know a lot about the ship. I think that in our new release, we will even have the housekeeping steward introducing himself to each single guest before the guest is getting on board, so that the guest knows already exactly who will be serving him for, during the cruise. And technology is helping a lot. But before I finish, really, let me congratulate with the entire CLIA team for this amazing event. CLIA has always done an amazing CLIA has always done an amazing job training travel advisors and bringing you all closer to our business. And they have contributed a lot to the cruise industry growth. So for the past 15 years, they have organized this landmark event, the most important in the world, bringing together travel advisors. So happy 15 years birthday, CLIA.
Gianni. Sorry for interrupting. This may be a...
I was saying to say thank you.
I know. This may be a major career-limiting move for me, but...
Who are you, first of all? Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Ken Muscat. Nice to see everybody. You forgot something very important. You forgot to introduce our newest Zoe, our crew member.
You know that you are talking to your boss.
Yes, I know. That's why I said this may be a career-limiting move. You forgot to introduce Zoe, who was just launched on our flagship MSC Bellissima.
You're right.
She's in every single stateroom. Zoe is the world's first virtual personal cruise assistant, developed in partnership with Samsung and Harman. So as an international cruise line, of course Zoe has to speak 7 different languages, and a lot of research was done to make sure that she can answer more than 800 questions related to our guests' needs. Pretty cool. Yeah. So I believe that Zoe might actually be with us today. Let's see. Zoe, are you there?
Of course I am, Ken. I'm everywhere. It seems that you are working the room very well. Nice job. I'm not surprised that MSC Cruises took you back.
Thank you, Zoe, but I have to thank Gianni for taking me back, and it's great to be back. So I do try my best. And okay, Zoe, can you tell me who loves travel agents?
That's easy. The entire MSC family loves travel agents, including me.
We love Zoe. Okay, Zoe, now this is an important one. Can you tell the agents in the audience how they can win a cruise on MSC Meraviglia?
My pleasure. We have 5 lucky winners in the audience today. Check under your chairs for the golden ticket. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, Zoe. Check under your chairs for this golden ticket. And if you have one, make sure you yell and scream and hold it up. Who are our winners? I hear some winners. Don't destroy the chairs. Who has a golden ticket? All right.
There's one there.
I see one over there. Anybody else? Golden ticket? There's
another
one
one
over
there.
there. There's one here.
There's one.
All right. Who else?
3.
I see 3. 2 more. There's one over there. 4. All right. Great job. Great job. Thank you, Zoe. So listen, we're not going to stop there. First of all, if you are one of our lucky winners, if you are one of the 5 lucky winners after our session today, please go to the MSC-sponsored Ocean Key Travel Agent Lounge to redeem your certificate. But if you did not win today, and don't kill me for saying this, I hope I don't get fired again. If you did not win today, we have an opportunity for 50 more winners. 50. So listen carefully. Starting on Monday, we are going to start 50 Days of Wonder, MSC Meraviglia Cruise Giveaway Contest, starting this Monday. All you need to do is go to MSC Cruises Travel Agent Facebook page, which is facebook.com/MSC True Partnerships, and you can learn how over the next 50 days, starting Monday, every single day we're going to announce a winner to get a balcony stateroom on MSC Meraviglia. Sounds good?
Sounds good. So only 50?
Only 50 for now. Let's see what happens. We need to get the sales up for Meraviglia, and then we'll keep rewarding. Their email is facebook.com/MSC True Partnerships. All right, and there'll be an email going out to remind you. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Gianni, for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great conference.
Hi, my name is Selena and I'm a sports scientist with AMA Waterways. Being a fitness host gives you an opportunity to encourage people to exercise in one of the most beautiful gyms they will ever experience. This wellness and fitness program, being hosted by AMA Waterways, generally adds a healthier, active aspect to every day for the guests. It offers more variety of selections of onboard and offboard activities for those that want to be more active or would like to become more active. In general, there will always be a stretching or yoga class in the morning. There's always an opportunity to get your daily steps in through an active walk. We always focus on a core strengthening aspect, as the core is the most important part of our bodies. Having the ability to be on the sun deck while cruising through a beautiful landscape and exercising at the same time is a very unique opportunity that not many people tend to get.
Thank you so much, Gianni, Ken, and Zoe. I didn't know they were under the seats. I've been eating Wonka bars like crazy back there trying to find a golden ticket. Huh? Come on, come on. That's good material. Anyway, congratulations to our lucky winners, and a reminder that you need to take your golden tickets to the Travel Agent Lounge sponsored by MSC Cruises to redeem your prize. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the moderator of the Small Ship Cruising panel. A great friend to the industry, a great friend of mine. Please welcome to the stage the Vice President of Strategic Development for Cruise Planners, Scott Kepf.
Thank you, Charlie.
Welcome, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Great to see you.
Hey, stay here. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give it up for Mr. Charlie here, the major host?
Thank you.
CLIA was out there, and CLIA looked for someone who could be the voice of the travel advisor. And is that a voice or what? It's amazing. What's funny, though, is that Charlie actually he practices all year long to come here and to talk like this. When he goes home, he's like, hello, everybody, good to see you. It's really wonderful. But here, he's Charlie. Thank you, buddy.
Thank
Great
you so
show.
much, Scott.
Wasn't it a fabulous show so far? What do you think? What'd you think of Ryan the other day? Yeah, I had a couple of ladies sitting at my table, like pulling out fans. Oh God, it's just fabulous. I actually loved him. I thought he was fabulous. I will admit to you, though, I was a little jealous. I must admit I was a little jealous. Anybody else a little jealous? Yeah, no, I got to tell you, I was not jealous of the fact that he was young, or that he was incredibly good looking, or that he was filthy rich. I was incredibly jealous by the fact that he was a hand model. These are like, they won't even use these for baseball mitts. I mean, there's no way. But I loved his message, and his message I thought was so spot on, and I had three kind of takeaways from that I thought I'd just wrap up real quick before we jump into our panel here, in that he said that we are all salespeople. He didn't make any excuses about it. We're in sales, that's what we do. Set a goal and go for it. And we are in sales, and that is such a huge opportunity. And the beauty is you don't have to have cute hands. You don't have to have a voice like Charlie's. Every one of us have a huge opportunity in this business to do incredibly well. And the little nuggets that I pulled from his scenario is he talked about Alice and how Alice became his great customer. But the key was he had a system to communicate with Alice for all those years. And so the takeaway is you've got to create the system, right? Have a system in which to communicate. The other thing that I'd leave you with is that the real goal that he set was not selling real estate. It was not to do a transaction. It was what? To meet 5 new people a day, 5 new customers a day. So I think you should take that as your goal, but think of it a little differently. The key is he talked about Alice, but the fact is that means there was 4 others that probably were a failure. So he had 1 success, but for every 5 that he talked to, only 1 might do business with him, but then the rest are failures. So you might think of it that in many cases we think of failure being the opposite of success. But the reality is failure is the road to success, right? So set your goal to actually fail. Earn your no's. Earn people who say no to you, and you'll get to the yes a lot faster. Well, with our panel, we are going to learn how actually to become a millionaire. And a millionaire by selling small ship cruises. Now, the way we're going to do this is somewhat like the TV show, and if you want to play along, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen to write with, and you can actually see how well you're doing already, even before we do the panel, at selling small ship cruises. So we are actually going to play the game. Are you ready? Who wants to be a millionaire? All right, so we're going to give you we're going to start here with a test question. Now the test question is still going to count, so you can write down your answer. Table mates, keep them honest here. Make sure we're getting the right answers. So here is our first question, your first test. See if you've been paying attention throughout all of CLIA 360 here. Are you ready? What is the name of the person who was just appointed as the Cruise Lines International Association President and CEO? Is it Carolyn Johnson, Harry Potter, Darth Vader, or Kelly Craighead? Oh, we're already getting interaction here. Very nice. All right, and the answer is very good. All right, if you were to answer B or C, you're free to leave anytime, really, because you're not with it here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring out 6 different guests here, and we're going to introduce them, and they are going to help me serve up some questions, and you're going to hear the answers from each of them as we learn a little bit about some of the great small ship cruising opportunities that are available to each and every one of you. So if you would please help me welcome the Senior Vice President of Uniworld Boutique River Cruise Collection, Christian Anderson. All right, our first contestant here. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Good. You too. You know, before we get started here, a little background on yourself. So, where's your family from? What's your background?
We are 7th generation Louisianians.
Wow.
We're from a small town south of Shreveport. The family immigrated down from Quebec on the Acadian Trail in the early 1600s.
Tu parles français?
Not at all.
Oh, well,
but I
that's
speak
okay.
Southern,
Oh,
so
speak
I'm
Southern.
great with that. Yeah.
All right, well, y'all ready for this? Because we're going to do a little Southern up here then. All right, so this is Uniworld with a Southern accent right here.
Absolutely.
Let's look at the first question for all of you. You ready? Here it is. So our first question, which Uniworld ship does not sail in France? Is it the A, SS Catherine, B, SS Eiffel, C, SS Bon Voyage, or D, SS Joie de Vivre? Well, any clues here?
No, maybe we could call Zoe up and she could help us out.
Yeah, but that would be with an Italian accent, not a French accent, so, you know. All right, here we go. So let's get the answer, and the answer to this one, the Eiffel.
Wow,
yes,
fantastic.
it sounds very French, but that's not.
No, it's not. But ironically, the Joie de Vivre, SS Joie de Vivre, when she is in port in Paris, she is literally 2 blocks from the Eiffel Tower. You can't wake up in the morning and not see the Eiffel Tower. You can't go to bed that evening without looking at the Eiffel Tower. It's in the heart of Paris. The Bon Voyage, we're launching next week in Bordeaux. It's our newest ship in that region, and the Catherine has been in that region for about 5 years in the wine country of France.
Wow,
Absolutely stunning and gorgeous ships that everyone here, these advisors, can find on uniworld.com.
So it's a fabulous itinerary for sure, and you definitely want to check it out and start selling it. All right, let's go to question number 2 for Uniworld. What is not included when booking with Uniworld? Is it A, gratuities, B, meals, C, insurance, or D, excursions? Oh, you know, no yelling out answers now. You don't want to give it away to your table mates, so keep track here. Write them down. All right, are you ready? And the answer is insurance. That's right. So pretty darn all-inclusive, though.
We have been for a number of years the leader in all-inclusive luxury river cruising. Condé Nast and Travel + Leisure rated us the best of the best year after year. We're truly all-inclusive. From the moment your guests arrive at the airport, we pick them up, we take them back after their 7-day, 14-day voyage. All gratuities are included, onshore, offshore, all dining, all culinary, all excursions, you name it. It's one price for the convenience of the guest.
Wow, fabulous. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you over here in the panel. We'll be asking all the panelists some questions in a little bit here. All right, let's bring out our second contestant, who is the president of WindStar Cruises, Mr. John Delaney. Please welcome him. Hey, John.
Hey, little Scott, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I understand you have a little background that happened before you found the cruise industry.
I
so
did.
What was that?
You know, many people don't know this is my 3rd career. I actually worked for a little restaurant company called the Cheesecake Factory when they only had 5 restaurants and weren't even public.
Wow.
Went back to school, got an accounting degree, and worked for Disney. And I moved to Seattle to work for Microsoft, but I did this consulting job for this little cruise line called Holland America and fell in love with the business. And 15 years later, I still love it, and I'm so lucky to be in it.
Cool. Well, we're glad to have you in it, that's for sure. All right, let's go to our first question about WindStar. Now, these might get a little progressively harder as time goes on here, but here you go. Which of the WindStar ships does not have sails? Is it A, the Windsurf, B, the WindStar, C, Windspirit, or D, the Star Breeze? So there you go. All right, so those are all good choices. Obviously, they are ships within WindStar, but what is the answer? Star Breeze.
Star Breeze,
there we go.
very
So
good.
tell us about the different ships you got.
I'm just glad you asked this question because when WindStar bought these 3 beautiful Star-class ships, people kept waiting for us to put sails on them. So this helps get the message out that they are beautiful little sailing ships, all suite, marble bathrooms, walk-in closets. And some of you have probably heard the news that we're about ready to cut them in half and stretch them. $250 million enhancement to the ships that we're very excited about.
Wow, and you do that while they sail, right?
Oh,
So,
well, I think we'll park them for that.
Oh, yeah, not a bad idea. It might be a little disruptive. All right, let's try another question here. All right, so this is a tough one. How many James Beard Foundation chefs, sommeliers, and beverage experts have sailed with WindStar since the partnership as the official cruise line of the James Beard Foundation began in 2016? Is it A4, B34, C9, or D18? All those numbers are impressive, but the answer is
Wow.
34.
Wow.
34, you got it.
Talk to us a little bit about that whole program.
You know, it's very exciting for us. Windstar is a real foodie cruise line. I mean, you know, when you have small ships, average 200 people, our kitchens are like what you'd see at a great restaurant on land. And this partnership, we're the official cruise line of James Beard Foundation. We get many of their award-winning chefs on board to sail with us, and then they're now pairing it with a sommelier, a mixologist, and really focused on the local cuisine wherever we're sailing. So it's been a lot of fun.
Wow.
Great for our guests.
Wow, fabulous. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll be with you in a minute. Okay, let's bring out our third contestant. And our third contestant is the Vice President of Field Sales with the Americas of Silver Sea Cruises, Joe Leon. Bring out Joe.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Joe. How we doing?
Great. Good to be here.
Good.
Hi, everyone.
Now, I understand, Joe, that you actually got started in this business a number of years ago when you were pretty young. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about my first sale, right? I got my first start right here in South Florida at 16 years old. I took first call on first day on the job, one of my first calls. Customer wants to ask me about how old I am, so I knew enough not to say 16. Good. I said 22, which made me 22 for the next 6 years every time I got that question. But the real bonehead part of the call was I was very excited. It was going very well. I had a really engaged customer on the phone. So I get to the question, what credit card would you like to use? And he says Visa. So of course I'm really excited and hastily take down the number, thank him for his business, walk him aboard, and I hang up. My supervisor looks at me and says, great job, genius. What's his phone number and address? And I said, I have no idea. So
hey,
finding him later was really
that's great sales, right? He got the credit card. Well done, well done. All right, let's jump to a first question for Silver Sea for Joe and all of you. All right, here we go. What is the name of Silver Sea's first ship? Is it A, Silver Wind, B, Silver Cloud, C, Silver Spirit, or D, the Silver Dawn? I'm going to give you all a really big hint here. The name Silver is in the name, so you can probably write that one down. That'll help you a little bit. And the answer is?
B,
Silver Cloud. So tell us about your fleet a little bit.
Yeah, so Silver Cloud, our inaugural ship when we launched the brand many years ago. And in 2017, December of 17, we took her back for major refurbishment. She's been converted now to an ice-class vessel, expedition ship, and she's sailing in polar waters both in the Arctic and the Antarctic and offering the best expedition experience in luxury cruising today.
Wow.
We're really proud of her.
Fabulous. All right, let's do one more question. These are getting tougher, folks. All right, write them down. Here's your next question. How many unique ports of call does Silver Sea offer? A, over 800, B, over 850, C, over 900, and D, over 950. You got your answers?
I know the answer's a lot.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah, it is a lot. You're right. Yeah, even no matter what you'd go with. All right, let's see what the answer is. All right, we've got 950. Tell us about
950. So when we released the 2019 calendar, it featured 950 different unique ports of call. We have 9 luxury ships, 5 in the classic fleet, 4 on the expedition side of things. So it gives us great access to the world. We've got 9 different deployments, which really gets us to everywhere in the world at the different seasons. So we're really proud of that deployment.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you. I'll see you in a little bit. All right. All right, let's bring out our next contestant. Our next contestant is the Vice President of Sales for AMA Waterways, Alex Pinello. Bring out Alex. Hey, there he is.
Hello,
how you
Scott.
doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome. So, Alex, I understand there's been a couple of life-changing experiences for you over the last few months. What's going on?
It's been an exciting month, to say the least. So, as you know, I started with AMA just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And actually on February 28th, and I've been living in South Florida my entire life. And on February 28th, I became a California resident.
Woohoo!
So
I live in California. We need the tax base. Good. I'm glad you're there, baby.
So I'm living in Woodland Hills, 7 miles from our office.
Wow.
And I'm just loving it so far. So far, so good.
Oh, good. Well, welcome to California. All right, let's go to our first question about AMA Waterways. And that question is, which innovative new ship is twice the width of a traditional river cruise ship? Is it A, the Amamora, B, the Amadoro, C, the Amasiena, or D, the Amamagna? All right, you got your answer? All right, Alex, what do you think? It is an easy one. I think so, and the answer is? The
Ama Magna. Yeah, tell us about this this beauty.
How much time do I have? So we hope you're as excited as we are with Ama Magna. Ama Magna will join our fleet May 5th, so just about a month from now. So excited to be on the Danube, twice as wide as our traditional ships, but only carry 20% more passengers, 196 passengers. She'll offer 4 dining options. She'll have 5 bars and lounges. The staterooms will range in size from 205 square feet to 710 square feet, with the majority being 355 square feet.
Wow,
So.
Nice, excellent. All right, let's do one more question for AMA Waterways. Ooh, this is a tough one. In what year did AMA Waterways first introduce bicycles aboard the European ships? Is it A, 2002, B, 2006, C, 2016, or D, 2018? Everybody got your answers, you think? It was pretty revolutionary at the time, right? So let's see what the answer is. 2006. All right. Tell us about that whole program.
So we were the first to introduce bicycles on our ship. So today we carry 25 bicycles on our European fleet, with the exception of Portugal. And it's really, we're not your grandparents' river cruise line anymore. I mean, really, the ships and the lines, we really have been innovating the product. And with us, it's all about choice. Our passengers, our guests are getting younger, and that's because we're offering a lot more options, including all these wonderful biking and hiking tours, so giving guests more options than ever before.
Fabulous. Love it. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you,
Be
Scott.
Back with you in just a minute. All right, now let's go and bring in our next contestant, which is the Vice President of Sales, North America of Seabourn. Please welcome Doug Siegel.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, buddy.
Scott, good
How are
to see
you?
you.
You too.
Good,
You too.
thanks.
So, Doug, we've known each other a long time, but I need to know, how in the world did you get into this industry?
Well, it was purely by accident. I wasn't doing travel, and I wasn't a hand model either, by the way. I was selling men's clothing, and I've heard so many people say that it's all about the service that you offer to your clients. And we had a great client at the clothing store that I always gave really special service to, because he always spent a lot of money. And when the store was closing, he came in and said, "What are you going to be doing?" And I said, "I'm going back to college." And he said, "Well, I own a tour company, so if you want a job, I'll make one for you. I'll find one." So the rest is history. Tour company, cruise industry, and it's just been fun. And I wouldn't have chosen any other industry.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And you're still one of the best dressed guys in the whole
Thank
industry.
you.
So it's
my
great
20's in the pocket.
Yeah. Carry that along. All right, let's do our first question with Seabourn. And that question is, what is the name of Seabourn's expedition program? Is it A, Seabourn Journeys, B, Earth and Ocean, C, Extended Explorations, or D, Ventures by Seabourn? Those are all great, aren't they? I mean, actually, every one of those names.
Hard questions to answer.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Got your answer? Because the answer is Ventures by Seabourn. Tell us about that program.
Well, we also are seeing a lot younger clients, and even our older clients are very fit, very adventurous, and Ventures by Seabourn allows us to take our guests off on kayaks and 2-person kayaks in places like Northern Europe, Australia, the Amazon, Alaska, Antarctica, and they're going off the ship with an expedition team. So our Alaska, for example, is truly different because we're actually taking them off and they're kayaking through Alaskan fjords, they're hiking through ice caves. So Ventures is truly an adventure type of program.
Wow,
up
fabulous.
close and personal.
Fabulous. All right, let's do one more. Seabourn question number 2. Which Michelin-starred chef has restaurants aboard all of the Seabourn ships? Is it A, Wolfgang Puck? Is it B, Jamie Oliver? Is it C, Thomas Keller? Or D, Daniel Boulud? Well, got the answer? And the answer is Thomas Keller.
Thomas Keller.
Sounds like an interesting program.
We're very pleased to have a partnership with Thomas Keller because he is one of the few chefs in the country who has multiple Michelin-starred restaurants. Per se, French Laundry, Bouchon. Suffice to say that it takes months to get into one of his restaurants, and you typically don't get out for more than $1,000 a night. He actually has restaurants that replicate his landside experience on Seabourn. Wow. And no additional charge, by the way. Wow. So for anyone who has foodie clients, thank you so much for the applause. For anyone who has foodie clients, that's a great draw. We always say to find new to cruise, go after clients' passion points, be it foodie, wellness, adventure, expedition, what have you. You'll bring new clients in. So.
Fabulous. Well, thank you, my friend.
Hey, my pleasure.
Right. We'll see you in just a minute. All right, now let's bring up our sixth and our final contestant for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Selling Small Ship Cruises, and that is the Vice President of Riviera River Cruises, Jana Vett. Hello there. How are we doing?
Great.
Good.
Great.
Marvelous. So I understand you kind of got into this industry the same way I did, by singing and dancing your way in. So tell me, how'd that happen?
Yes, I did. So I wanted to be an entertainer like you. And I graduated from college and I got a job on a cruise ship with Royal Viking.
You are way too young for that.
Yeah,
way too young.
I was so excited to be an entertainer, I actually missed my college graduation ceremony because they said you got to be at rehearsals and that's it. So I went to Helsinki and boarded, we rehearsed, go to Helsinki, board the ship. I did a 6-month contract. I said, well, that was fun, but I actually kind of liked what those other people were doing on the ship. So then I went back and I got a job with Royal Caribbean, cruise staff, cruise director, whatever, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess. Eventually I got back onto land.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Kids don't work.
We actually just found out backstage that she grew up with my bride. Isn't that wild? Had no idea. So they were performers together, all that way back when. So, all right. Well, we have a couple of millionaire questions for you. So let's jump to the first question for Riviera Cruises. And that question is, Riviera River Cruises' parent company, Riviera Travel, got its name back in 1934 by escorting British clients from the UK to where? Was it A, Russia, B, France, C, Germany, or D, America?
Think geography and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you think there's a wee hint in there a little bit? All right, let's see what the answer is. France. Tell us the history.
So the company started by Michael Wright 35 years ago, and he said, hey, I have this great market, take UK's British clients to the Riviera, and started his company that way. Since then, Riviera Travel has become one of the largest tour operators in the UK, and we are the largest provider of river cruises in the UK for European river cruises. So just a couple years ago, we decided to open an office here in the United States. So we're new to the US, but we're not new to river cruising. We're not new to the market. We've taken over 100,000 people on the European rivers since we started 10 years ago on the rivers.
Great. Well, welcome to the US, and let's go to question number 2. And it's a tough one here. Riviera River Cruises 2019 fleet has 12 superior quality 5-star ships with an average age of 2.3 years old. How old is the oldest ship? Is it A, 4 years old, B, 6 years old, C, 7 years old, or D, 9 years old? All of which are pretty young when you think about it.
Right.
It's, yeah, not a bad choice. But what is the answer? 6 years old.
6 years old, and I wanted to bring that up because I think it's important to know that our ships are constantly rejuvenating, and we do that because people say, well, do you own your ships or do you lease your ships? We lease our ships. We go to our shipbuilder in Switzerland and we say, we want a new ship. They say, here you go. And we use it for 5-6 years, and then we say, we're done with this one now. We want a new one. So we're constantly upgrading our fleet. We're constantly changing our fleet. All of our ships are built to our specifications. So it allows us to keep everything young and fresh all the time.
Fabulous. Well, who got 100%? Anybody get all of the answers correct? You were going to win a free cruise, so, oh, what a shame. Yeah, you actually was a cruise from each of our panelists if you got all the answers, but no, that's a real shame. Well, let's walk back here to the panel, and we'll rejoin all the rest of the gang here. All right, well, we've got a few minutes to ask some other questions to learn a little bit more about how to become a millionaire selling small ship cruises. So let me start by asking, what do you see as the primary difference between sailing on a small ship versus the larger ocean liners? So Christian, why don't you kick us off?
Scott, we don't have enough time to frankly talk about the major differences. And the first thing that I want to do is send a appreciation to everyone that's here. It's Friday afternoon. It's 2 o'clock. There's a beach out there. There are resorts you could go to. but you're so absolutely committed to this industry that I know I speak for everyone on this panel. We are so incredibly delighted that you are here and supporting us. So give yourself a round of applause.
Bravo.
So I guess we could, if we went into the nuances of the major differences between big ships and smaller ships, whether they be river going or ocean going, one thing that the audience needs to remember, all of these travel advisors, is that small ships equal big commissions. Now you can choose, if you want to work throughout the day, hours at a time, for $200, $300 commissions. That's perfectly your choice. You can build a great book of business, and many people have been incredibly successful at it. Or you can choose to invest the same amount of time and resource and make $200 to $2,500 in commission per a booking. At Uniworld, uniworld.com, I'll keep saying it, at Uniworld, our average commission in the industry varies between $1,800 to $2,000 per booking. So imagine the amount of time that you're spending when you are working with our reservations team, your sales BDM, your host agency, whatever it may be. Make sure that it's time well worth spent.
I think you can get to be a millionaire a little quicker, a little faster by selling the small cruise ships. Who else would like to jump in on that one? Alex?
I'll take it. So it really boils down to really two key commodities, and it's really it's time and peace of mind. And really, there's not a bad product up here. We're so proud to be sitting up here with such esteemed colleagues. And I got to tell you, with really, we've all heard the saying, oceans take you to the destinations, rivers take you through them. There's really nothing like sailing through the veins of Europe and stopping in the heart of the destination. We dock right in the center of the town, the villages you're visiting, essentially doubling the time in the destination. So it's really truly an immersive experience and really incredible guest satisfaction. Think of those customers for life and think of those commission checks with commas. So you work really hard for our brands, and thank you for all that you do for keeping our products alive and healthy.
So John, you actually got two perspectives here from the river side, but you have smaller ships that still do ocean. So what's the differentiation?
We do, and they're, as was just mentioned, we have great products across everyone up here. In the small ship ocean-going category, the real unique difference between that and a larger ship is where we go, not unlike the river cruises. A great example I always list is there's a beautiful little port in the French Riviera called Saint-Honoré-sur-Mer. It's an authentic port. It's just a few miles from Cannes or Saint-Tropez where the big ships go, and we are just big enough to squeeze into this port with authentic local cafes and wine bars, and it's a real fishing village. So the ability to deliver these authentic real jewels that are going to deliver a great experience. And then the other big difference, at least on Windstar, is the fact that the way we design our tour program fits small ship cruising. We don't have to get 3,000 people on a tour. When you're only dealing with an average ship size of 200, we're designing tours for 6, 10, 12 people that are very bespoke, very personalized, and really get people close to the destination.
Excellent. Yeah, please.
I'd just like to add one more thing to that. I think whether it's an ocean-going or a river-going vessel that's a smaller ship compared to the big ship experience, the onboard experience for the client is so different because, first of all, you can walk on and off the ship fairly easily and readily, which is nice. No lines, no tickets, no whatever. So that part of the experience is great. But the other part is the people interaction. So if you meet somebody in the lobby when you walk onto a river cruise ship and you have a nice conversation with them, you're going to see them again. You're going to see them at dinner. You're going to see them at lunch. And that has good pros and cons, but you get to see those people again. On a large ship, you could have this great conversation and you will never ever see them again for 8 days. So I think that really just makes it a more intimate experience for everyone, and you get to know people better, and it's more interesting at dinner time, outside of all the wonderful sights that we all get to see. So.
And all throughout the time. I think it's that more personalized approach that can happen with a smaller ship. So, Doug, what do you find in terms of which customers are finding their way to you? What's the demographic and everything else that...
I'm going to piggyback on that fact and say that our clients are well-traveled, they're unassuming, So when I go on Seabourn, I always go incognito because I want to meet really interesting people. So I never tell them that I'm with the company because I don't want them to feel pressured if we're on a shore excursion together, if we're having dinner. And I meet some of the most fascinating people who've traveled all over the world, and they're very understated. That there's no snob appeal on the ships. They're democracies on board, so everyone feels equal. Our typical guest is evolving a bit. I mean, we were going to the 65-plus crowd with the more exotic destinations, the longer cruises, but now we're 45 to 64, and we're seeing multi-generational families sail with us, many multi-generational families during the summer. And I think the more active shore excursions like the Ventures program has really added to that. But again, unassuming, informal, they don't bring out their bling necessarily. So I think your clients will feel very comfortable on Seabourn.
So Joe, let me add to that a little bit. What have you found has been kind of the evolution of the passenger? Are most people starting with a large ocean, they've been a past cruiser and then moving up, or first timers, or what do you have?
Yeah, great question, because most of these folks probably think I'd answer this by saying rich, right? And I think that that's a big misconception. It's something that I think all of us up here work hard to overcome. The idea that this type of cruising is available exclusively to the 1% elite is so off base. We all have very high inclusive products, products that bring a tremendous amount of value to the experience and what we offer. And you know, it brings me back to a quote that I kind of stole from Naveen Sani, CEO at Ponant, and he said, experience is the new currency in luxury. And that really stuck with me because no longer are we exclusively judged by the materials that we use to build our ships or the opulence in the suites that the customers sail in, but there has to be a really rich and immersive destination experience to complement that as well, or we're all in a lot of trouble. But with that, that's what's really important to the customer. And we found that they will pay outside of their normal means to get to that really special experience. So it's about asking the right questions and finding out what's really at the core of that experience and that need, and then finding one of us to go out there and bring this product to them, because you will be surprised on what they will invest for all those experiences in the places that we visit to have memories with the people that they'll meet. So really, go out there, ask questions, and don't be afraid to sell your customers up to this product because they're dying to experience it.
It's a great point. I think, you know, again, we all keep reading that experiences really are the driving force now of the consumer. Millennials are even saying that they're putting off buying homes, they're putting off doing all kinds of other purchases just so they can have more experiences. And I think the boomers are certainly catching up with that also, that it's all about the experience that we provide. And again, the small ships have an ability, I think, of personalizing that more and doing things to drive home that personalization. So maybe you can add a little bit of what are some other things that make your experience more personal? How is it a more personal experience or a more individualized experience that they may not get on a larger product?
Well, if I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Access, because I'm hearing it from everyone. Yep. We're all saying the same thing, which is reassuring, because I think we've tapped into something, which is access and authenticity. So smaller ship vessels, whether it be ocean-going, Windstar getting into a certain port that bigger ships can't get into, Silversea doing the same thing, Seabourn, all of the river ships, we are going through the heart of Europe and in other exotic markets. I know we're in India, Vietnam, Egypt is remarkably popular right now. But I think, you know, something that I just came off a ship on, I've been here a week, so it was Sunday. I came in from Paris, where I was on the Joie de Vivre, our newest super ship there that we launched about a year and a half ago. And I hosted a group of travel advisors on that 7-day voyage. And it started in Paris and it ended in Normandy. And for those of you who are familiar with Normandy, that is where the D-Day invasion of Nazi Europe took place, and the Allies were able to liberate France, and really it began the precipice of the end of World War II. And an enormous amount of sacrifice was made. Americans, Canadians, British young men and women in some cases were lost in that attack. But if we would not be here today enjoying our freedoms if that generation had not stepped up. And this is the 75th year, absolutely. And this is the 75th year anniversary of D-Day. And one of the things that stands out for Uniworld that I was so glad, and I've done it twice now, and there is never a there's never a dry eye in the house with our advisors, our clients. We conclude that entire voyage at Omaha Beach, at a memorial there, where we play taps, we give people the opportunity to pay their respects, to lay a carnation down at the memorial. And it's those small things that we do that I don't think you can find in too many other places. And I know there's not a company on this panel that doesn't offer things like that.
Very true.
One thing that I think that is unique about small ship cruising, and that really applies to every brand up here, you will never get a more intimate relationship with the crew and the officers than you do on small ship cruising. I mean, it's just magic. The relationships that form, that go on for years. We all have very loyal customers and repeat rates. But for me, that's one of the true differences on a small ship cruising, is that very special relationship that you'll have with the officers and crew.
And if I can add, the beauty of sailing on a ship, in the case of AMA Waterways, our European ships have a maximum capacity of 160. So what happens is you're not a number, you're a person. And it's those unique personal experiences. And all of our guests have those unique experiences. Every cruise that I've been on, I have a different experience. I was just on AMA Christina during my birthday, and I was heading to one of the wellness classes in the morning, and two different crew members approached me and they said, "Good morning, Alex, happy birthday." Now, they didn't say that because I'm Alex and I work for the company. Any of you or any of your customers that would be on our ship on their birthday, walking through the ship, would be recognized by the crew. So it's those personal touches, even in our case, even when you do a pre or post land extension, the cruise manager that's on the ship with you is actually at the hotel with you as well, to really create that bond, that experience, that personal attention to detail that really makes all of our brands so special and so unique.
Yeah. Something else?
Yeah, I could add one more thing to that along the same line, which is because there is that personal experience that extends into the experience off the ship. So I'm sure you all do this. What we do is we have a concierge on board. So if someone has a special interest that's not included in the excursion of the day or whatever, they can go to the cruise director concierge and say, hey, I really want to go to this castle, or I want to go to buy something special. And they will figure out how to do that for them. They're like, well, you can get a taxi, it'll cost this much, and here's the, and they'll make the phone call or buy the tickets or do kind of like a hotel concierge would. And it's because of the smaller ship and the personalization that they all just mentioned with the people, right? You get to know the cruise director, they get to know you, and they're like, oh, I know she really likes chocolate, so I'm going to tell her where the best chocolate place is in this port, right? So, and then it just enhances the experience overall.
Yeah, fabulous. So everyone here, I think, certainly, I think after what we've been talking about, are just like, oh, this is such an incredible product. This would be so fun to sell. But let's talk about the marketing side of this. How do we reach those customers? And we've talked about, again, that you're looking for discerning travelers. We're looking for people that want those unique experiences. They want to have something that can come back and brag about and remember forever and all of those pieces. But how does all of us, how do we go back tomorrow and do something to start to bring you more business? What would you recommend, Doug?
Well, I want to mention, first of all, that our category of all categories, I think you saw from Charlie the other day that a larger number of cruises, or a greater percentage of cruises, are sold through travel advisors than land vacations. So that's number one. But in our category, a much larger percentage are sold by travel advisors because it's a unique experience and they really need your expertise to sell. Now, as far as marketing, it's as simple as going back and looking at your current client list and fitting any one of our cruise lines or river cruise lines to their needs. You sometimes have to requalify them. You have to go back and say, now, what did you really enjoy about your last vacation? What is it that you're hoping to gain from your next vacation? What kind of experiences do you like to have? And that's when you fit the cruise line with the right client. And I'd like to say as well that none of us do extensive advertising like our big brothers and sisters at Carnival and Royal Caribbean, so we really rely on you. It's word of mouth and it's your expertise.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with Doug more. I think that you all have luxury customers. I think you all have customers that are looking for those heightened experiences. And he's right, going back to qualifying them, find out what's most important to them in their vacation experiences. You have them, they're there, and don't let them make it about price, because it should never be about price. It's about that experience and that memory that they want to make and hold dear forever.
I also think lifestyle interest makes a big difference here. Doug, you alluded to that earlier. So if you have clients who are real foodies and you know that they eat at Michelin star restaurants and that's a big part of what they enjoy about traveling, you know, that's a great way to talk to them about any of our products. The adventure component, you know, we have a program called Signature Expeditions, scenic Zodiac cruising, hiking, some wonderful stuff. You have outdoor clients, we're a great choice. So thinking about what they do on their land-based vacation can be a great way to match them up with a cruise line.
And if I can add, because you can't be everything to everyone. You are the travel advisors, the travel professionals. You really need to focus on a select number of preferred suppliers that are going to work with you, that are going to develop and are going to offer a wonderful product that you can extend to your customers, and think about those customers for life. Never selling, leave price out of the equation. We have so much value to offer. Again, in the case of AMA, over 95% of our business comes from our travel advisors. We don't work with Costco. We rely on you.
Neither do we.
We rely on you to fill our products. You know, you have the client base. We've seen the numbers of how many people are cruising. Many of our cruisers are coming from, you know, from ocean cruises, from premium and above. I mean, we have the client base. Focus on the products, become specialists, and it's going to be an easy sell, and you're going to have those customers for life.
So let me just jump in really quickly.
Keep going. No, this is good.
If you could hold up your hand, hold up the number 5. Fantastic. There's a travel advisor named Ann Scully, close friend of mine. Most of you all know her, up in Northern Virginia. And Ann always says that when you've met with a BDM or a district sales manager or anyone from a sales team at a cruise or river line, to write down, after that presentation, to simply write down 5 names of a client or a friend or a family member, someone that you may think would be a perfect fit for that experience. And that's where it starts. It's that basic. I appreciate what Alex was saying. At Uniworld, 92% of our revenue year in, year out is from trade supported. It's travel advisors who pay my bills. It's travel advisors who put food on my table, and all 2,000 Uniworld employees. And the fact that, thank you, I should be clapping for you. But we definitely feel that if you can narrow down that focus to where it's just simply 5 names that you can cultivate, call out, and contact, before long, you'll be yielding really significant results.
Yeah, I think, and Christian, I'll just jump in on that. I think, you know, again, we come to these programs and the education's phenomenal, and we learn about all these products, et cetera. But again, it's when you get home, what do you do? You know, what's the first thing you do, and what approach do you take to sell more? And as I opened with today, we talked about, again, Ryan's goal of just connecting with 5 people. And my suggestion is that, yes, it's great to get new people, but even if you just say, I'm going to make 5 phone calls a day, 5 phone calls. And again, it's even one thing to write the name down, but I think we've become so hidden behind emails, we've become hidden behind direct mail and all these other media. There's nothing like a phone call. We can't replace that. And to just say, I'm going to call 5 of my customers, and if nothing else, to say, you know what, I was in Florida, I heard this panel, and I've noticed you've never been on a small ship. And I got to tell you, I think you'd love it. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is, no, I really like the big ones. All right, great, now you sell them a big one. But there's a very good chance that they're going to say, well, what made that, why'd you think of me? Why did you think of me when you called me and talked about, ooh, a small ship? And then you start that qualifying, as you were saying, because it really does come down to, and I think this is important, these guys are all talking about the personalization that starts once they're on the ship, But the simple fact is that personalization starts well before they're on the ship. It starts with each of you and getting to know that customer, and so that that personalization is a perfect carry through. And again, my suggestion is don't put that through an email. Don't hope that they call you. Don't hope that some marketing message is going to reach them. Nothing is better. And again, go into it knowing, as I mentioned earlier, 4 of those phone calls you're going to leave a message. That's probably going to happen. It's the reality of what happens today. But have that message ready. Hey, I was at the panel. I heard about these small ships. I think you're going to love this. If you're interested, call me back. And just start going through your list, because again, you're going to reach them. John?
No, I think that's outstanding advice. And I just wanted to add to that it's true and it's known that smaller ship cruise lines, including the river lines, we have a very high repeat rate. So you make that initial reach out, you get them on one of the ships, and our products will bring them back. So we really become an annuity to you by bringing your clients back, year after year after year. So, we're in a great industry. There's a lot of noise out there. The big boys, Gianni was just out here, make much more noise than we do. But if you're not focused on small ship cruising, river cruising, you're missing a big opportunity.
The truth is, if you're not staying in contact with your customers, someone else is trying to.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And if I can just add, I think there's been a lot of discussion during CLIA 360 about the tremendous growth in the cruise industry. Most of the growth is taking place in our segment. We're doubling capacity over the next few years in the small ship category and expedition category. And that means more opportunity for you, because we want these clients to find us. And of course, we want them to find us through you. So greater opportunity. It's also been proven that the largest salaries in the travel industry are in the luxury small ship and river cruise industry. So it is true that the higher commissions are there and the greater profits.
And one more thing, your best business partner is the wonderful business development team that we all have up here. I mean, they're there to help you grow your business with their brands. If you're not successful, they're not successful. So if you're not reaching out to those business development managers, if you don't have relationships with those business development managers, you're leaving money on the table.
That's such a great point.
I was just going to share a fun fact based on what Doug said. That's true. Small ship cruising is booming. Just in the ocean category, including expedition, there are 34 new builds that are on order between now and 2025. But I love to point out that all of those ships together don't even equal 2 of Gianni's new ships. So it's still going to be very intimate and a very special type of cruise experience.
Yeah, it's so true. For those of us that have been in this industry a very long time, 5, 6, 7 years ago, we didn't even have river, right? I mean, the river didn't even exist within CLIA. No one even talked about it. The small ships were kind of over on the side and kind of a forgotten part of our business. And again, I think what's happening with so many customers, because they are looking for that personalization, because they're looking for that little, that one different thing, is that, again, more customers are gravitating. The key is, and coming back to what I said, is customers just need to know about it. They just need to know that these products exist. So let me close with this, and we'll just kind of go down the line here real quick. If you have one thing that you think makes your product very special and unique against all of the cruise industry, just give us a 20-second soundbite of what that might be.
All
Gianna?
of the cruise industry?
Or anything, what makes you different, what makes your product different.
Well, I think, there's a lot of things that make all of our products similar, and we've talked about that already. One of the things that makes Riviera River Cruises a little bit different is we do offer a very good value. We have luxury ships. Our prices are a little bit lower than some of my companions here on the panel. And we do that because there are a few things that we don't include. So a lot of people here talked about how they're very all-inclusive, and we include everything that we think is necessary, like food, accommodation, but excursions, the experience, that part of the experience is all included, but we feel there's a few things that maybe you may or may not want. And one of those is alcohol. So we don't include alcohol. We have a drinks package. You can add it if you want to add it, but we feel like, especially with the age and the fact that most of our clients are British, that's just, I'm trying to change that, but we'll keep working on that. We just don't offer it. So it's, but at the same time, you'll see when you get on board, you don't get gouged on, the big ships are all about onboard revenue. We know that, right? That's not true with small ship cruising. It's not true with us.
All right, great value. Doug.
We have the newest, most contemporary fleet in the industry. Our oldest ship was introduced less than 10 years ago, and our newest was introduced last year. And because you have so much product, you have to remember, they all have the same footprint. So if you know the deck plan on the Odyssey, you know the deck plan on Ovation. So it's an easy product for you to sell and remember, and it's very familiar to your clients.
Great. Alex?
Yeah, and with us, I think it starts with our ownership, and many of you know Rudy, Christine, Gary. They're very involved in the day-to-day operation of our business. They put the team members first, they put the travel partners first, and the guests. The guests are a key component of our business, and when you sail on one of our ships, you're not a customer, you're not a number, you're part of the AMA Waterways family from the minute you set foot on our ships.
Yep, for Silver Sea, without question, it's destinations, 965 unique ports of call. We do it with 9 luxury ships, sailing both on the expedition side of things down to Antarctica, Russian Far East, the Galapagos. But on the classic side, imagine sailing from the Tower Bridge in London or sailing into downtown St. Petersburg and docking right at the English Embankment in downtown. And destinations is absolutely what sets us apart. We sail to more than double any carrier in this industry, regardless of the market that they operate in.
You know, for Windstar, it's very easy, casual, right? We have incredible food, amazing service, a very high-end experience, but it's casual. No formal nights, it's more relaxed. And, you know, global footprint, we're all over the world as well. Not quite as many ports as Silver Sea, but we're all, you know, it's a great way to travel for your clients. Think country club, who like that more relaxed style, perfect for Windstar.
Excellent. Christian?
Oh, fantastic. I get to end.
You are the closer, baby.
So I could say a lot of things, honestly, but I think I'll stick to a 30-second soundbite, more or less. The fact of the matter is that we are a family company, and our family's been in the hospitality industry for over 80 years. And they are also a family that owns the largest privately held travel company in the world. If you've heard of Insight Tours or Trafalgar or Contiki, the crown jewels of the travel corporation are Uniworld and Red Carnation Hotels, which are primarily found in Europe, and one about 20 miles north of here in Palm Beach. But more importantly than that, we're debt-free. We own every single one of our ships. We pour an average of $10 to $15 million into our ships. We train our culinary staff and we train our butler staff, true butlers, not a waiter that's a butler that's a waiter at 9 in the morning then puts on a butler jacket. Our butlers are trained by the same institution in Amsterdam that trains butlers for the royal households of Europe. But more importantly than all of that, beyond the spin, beyond the PR, beyond the thousands of presentations that you've probably heard over the last few days, what we commit to you at Uniworld is no one is going to work harder for your support and for your business so that you can deliver a truly all-inclusive luxury and authentic experience to your guests, that they will call you up when they get home. I'll be a little Southern. They will call you up when they get home and say, God bless you, thank you so much for that amazing experience.
Well, God bless you for doing that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our panelists. Thank you very much. Well done, gang.